have a monkey in your pants?
April 15th, 1988, a racing game made by UK developer Rare was released. Quite possibly set the way for many racing games to come. It was an isometric game where you basically controlled an RC car, or a radio controlled car. It was originally called Pro AM or Pro Am Racing. It was obviously later changed to RC Pro M. It's actually one of the first racing games to allow you to attack your opponents. You could do this with a variety of weapons you had in the game was available. You had both missiles which would shoot forward, and you also had bombs which you could drop behind you to destroy the enemies. You basically race around the various tracks. There was 24 tracks in total, but basically after that the game would just repeat the tracks until it was game over. You continued in the game as long as you were either first, second or third. If you were fourth and somebody crossed the finish line, it was basically a case of game over, and you could continue. Obviously you could start again. You basically drove around these little tracks trying to win the races. You pick up power-ups along the way. Obviously you've got your missiles, your bombs you pick up. You also pick up invincibility, which made you flash. If another car hit you while you were flashing, you'd knock them off the track and give you a slight advantage. The power-ups you pick up is traction, acceleration and high speed. The good thing about it is even if it was game over and you continue, you carry over these power-ups into the next level. And you also, on the track, you would find arrows which would give you a speed boost. But like many of these sort of racing games, it was never as simple. Even if you were the best guy, the computer, or the AI I should say, always had a way of somehow cheating. And in this game it was the infamous orange car. Even if you're the best driver, best RC controlling person out there, that orange car would give you a run for your money. Regardless what you done, it would always somehow zoom off into the front, which is basically, it tends to happen in most racing games. Mario Kart had the same problem. Luigi etc. would somehow go zooming off into the front. The game's highly regarded. It's in many top NES game lists, and rightly so. It was a very good racing game from back in the day. The game was also ported to several other platforms, Mega Drive, Genesis in 1992, and also it was ported over to the good old Game Boy. It was called Super RC Pro M. It's also worth checking out as it's a fairly decent port on the Game Boy. The one thing that surprised me about this game, and I think it also received some criticism at the time when it was released, is it is not a two-player. Now, to me, this screams multiplayer. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it was some hardware limitations, if it was possibly slightly rushed, I don't know, but for whatever reason it is not a two-player game. The game certainly led its way, inspired several other racing games, like Super Off-Road, Rock and Roll Racing. You obviously see where the similarities lie there, and also even the likes of Mario Kart, where you've got your various weapons and you tag the other players. But it is an excellent, excellent Nintendo release from 1988. RC Pro M, 15th of April 1988.